Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mrs. G. In this video, we are going to be looking at the Geography 2022 CSEC past paper, and this is paper 2 where we are working number 4. So number 3 and number 2 would have gone in past videos. I'll put the link right above so you can go ahead and check those out. Ensure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Let's get to it, guys.
Damn. Yeah.
The first question in number 4 says that we should study the table below, which shows information about coral reef in the Caribbean, and then answer the questions that follow. So this is just a table where we are supposed to apply the information that we would have learned from reading tables and graphs in class. So we are going to do just that. The first one says, what country has the largest area of coral reef? So the table itself is showing coral reef in the Caribbean. It shows the different countries here. It shows the reef area. And this one shows the risk of destruction. So, which country has the largest area of coral reef? That means we would be looking for this specific number here that is the largest. So in that case, it would have been the Bahamas. The second question says, state the area of the coral reef in Belize. So for Belize, we are seeing 1,420. So 1,420, and because we're talking about area, we would not leave off the kilometer square. Next one, it says, which country has the highest percentage of its reef at high risk of destruction or degradation? So the highest percentage. So we can see over here is the percentage of destruction or degradation. We look for the highest number and we can see that that number is Barbados. So we would write Barbados as our answer for that one. The next question says, which country has approximately half of its reef at high risk of destruction? So because it is percentage and it says half, we're looking for something that is 50 or nearest to 50. In this case, it is Antigua and Barbuda. Guys, I know you're watching from different places, so please just put the name of your country in the comment section so we can see where you are from. Put the name of your country there. So we have Antigua and Barbuda for this one. And if you have not subscribed to the channel as yet, please go ahead and do so and turn your post notifications on so that you do not miss any of our content. Next one, it says state the country that has been most successful in limiting the effects of human activity on its coral reef. So how would we determine this now? How can we tell which country is most successful in limiting the effects? We have to look at which country would have had the smallest number over here, which is at risk. So our answer would have been the Bahamas, that has 2%. So we're supposed to state the country. So again, our answer here would have been the Bahamas. All right. Next question, it says, describe 2 conditions that are necessary for the successful formation of coral reef in the Caribbean. So we do have a number of conditions that are necessary for the successful formation of coral reef. They are asking you to describe 2 of them. It is 4 marks, so that means you would have been getting 2 marks each. So first of all, coral reef requires warm water of temperatures between 21 to 30 degrees Celsius, and coral reef also require shallow water that is with a depth of up to 45 meters below sea level. Then we have, you need the right salinity, and you need clean water as well, right? You can describe any two that you would like. So let us talk about the temperature. So coral reef, I will write it so you can see what it could potentially look like. All right. All right, that takes us to the next question. It says, outline two ways in which mangrove wetlands are important to coastal communities in the Caribbean. Basically, they're asking you two benefits of mangrove wetlands, but they're asking you to outline it. It's two of them, and it is 2 marks each. So outlining means that you basically give detail steps. So what we are going to do here, we are going to first identify the benefits or two ways in which mangrove wetlands are important to coastal communities. So the first one that we can mention is that it protects the coastline from waves. So over here I will put protect the coastline from waves. If you can think of others outside of the ones that I have written, feel free to write them in the comment section so that you can help someone else who may be thinking the same thing as well. So it protects the coastline from waves. We can also say that it provides resources for people. So we're talking about food. We're talking about, well, let me just put it here. It also provides opportunities for ecotourism. We can say it provides jobs. Etc. So in our outline, we would just need to outline two of these. So we can say that mangrove wetlands, I will write it again so that you can get a chance to see what it could potentially look like. We can also do the one that says mangrove provides resources for people. We would only need to be talking about what kind of resources it provides for people. So we can mention that it provides shrimp, crabs, seafood, other seafood, wood for charcoal, sometimes, unfortunately, building materials. It provides all of those resources for persons as well. So this is how you would have answered this question. It protects the coastline from wave erosion and storm surges. And then you would have provided a little outline basically about how it happens. How is it that it protects the coastline from the wave erosion and from the storm surges? So that is what we would have given in the explanation there, in the outline there, because an outline is actually different from an explanation. So we will go to the next one. This one asks about the cruise ship industry. So it says the cruise ship industry is one of the most important growth sectors for tourism in the Caribbean. Discuss two possible negative effects the cruise ship industry can have on the natural environment. So two possible negative effects that the cruise ship industry can have on the natural environment. First of all, we can have pollution, we can have water pollution, we can have air pollution, we can have destruction of the natural environment when they are going to be developing the piers for the cruise ships to dock into. We can also say that they threaten marine and other coastal ecosystems. We can say that there is a destruction of mangroves in preparation for the cruise shipping industry, in preparation for the development of the cruise shipping industry. So we can talk about any of those that we want to, right? If you would prefer for me to actually just explain all of it and not write it, let me know. It's difficult for me to write and talk at the same time. I will write foolishness. So I talk first and then I will write. If you'd prefer for me to just talk, then fine. If you would want to see the written part of it, let me know as well. I think I'd asked for this in the other video, but I don't think anybody actually responded to that. But let me know and then we can figure it out. So we can work with pollution, water pollution, we can work with air pollution. I'll just drop them at the side here. So you can choose any of these and I'm sure you can come up with, see what I'm talking about? I'm sure you can come up with others by yourself. If you come up with others, you can drop them in the comment section below so that you can help somebody else. All right, so that they can see other responses. So destruction of the natural environment. This is for the development of the piers. Development of the piers could also mean removal of mangroves. So destruction of the mangroves or mangrove wetlands. For the threatened marine and coastal ecosystems, we can talk about the displacement of marine life when the development of this sector is going to take place. We can talk about how beaches are removed or how beaches are destroyed. That would also come under the destruction of the natural environment. So you would just need to select two of them and discuss it, flesh it out. So they're asking you for two. This is probably 6 marks as well. Yes, 6 marks for this one as well. So that means you are getting 3 marks each. And they have given you in this one number 1 and number 2. So flesh out your answers properly and then you go ahead and write them in your designated spot. So you can go ahead and write one for yourself in the comment section. I would love to see it. I will respond to it and I will go ahead and write one here for you as well. Okay? So that is how we could have answered that question. That's for the first part for water pollution. Okay, let us move on to the next one. It says discuss two measures that have been implemented by governments. Notice it said measures that have been implemented, not something that you make up in your head. So, two measures that have been implemented by governments in the Caribbean to ensure the sustainable management of fisheries resource. So, what is sustainable management of fisheries resource? What is sustainable management of anything? It means that yes, you still plan to use it, but you are trying to use it in such a way where it does not become depleted and you still leave enough, or you use it in such a way that future generations will also be able to use it. They'll also be able to make use of it. Your aim is not to deplete it. So sustainable management would have been that measures would have been put in place to maintain some form of balance between the amount that is being used and what is going to be left, or their rate of reproduction. So in this particular case, we're talking about fisheries. So that balance that would need to be maintained is the rate of reproduction of the fishes and the rate at which we extract from the seeds, the rate at which we take it and use it, right? So the aim is to not deplete the fish population. That's what the sustainable management really means. So they're asking you now to discuss two measures that governments have used in the Caribbean to ensure sustainable management of the fisheries resource. So we know that governments have set up, well, this is because they ask you to discuss. You want to give examples, right? Give examples of the countries that would have done this. If you know specific names of specific places that have done this or have assisted with it, then you can go ahead and name those as well. Just make sure say you're right. Okay, so we can talk about the marine park or marine protected areas. I believe that every Caribbean country has at least one. So you can write the name of your country and write about the marine protected areas. That is one thing that the governments would have implemented for the management of it, and then you would need to discuss it. So we would say setting up protected areas to assist in the regeneration of the fish population. All right, example, marine parks, and you can specifically name marine parks if you want to, and then you would explain, you would discuss the measure that the government would have put in place. So just talk about how the marine protected area will assist in the regeneration of the fish population. So these marine parks, they are areas where people are not allowed to fish from. It's like a safe haven for fish. So they can go there, they can breed, they can relax basically without the thought of being caught by a fish pot or whatever the fishermen, whatever method the fishermen are using. So fishes that stay in these protected areas, they are usually a lot larger than the ones that you would find out at sea. So they're usually a lot larger because they are left alone if they stay there. You would normally see signs such as no fishing in this area. The protected areas, the marine parks, they are often policed. So you would have marine police that would look out in these areas to ensure that there is no unauthorized fishing that is taking place. So that is one of the sustainable management of fisheries that governments have used in the Caribbean. Another one is this one works with everything. It doesn't matter whether social studies, geography, whatever. Educating the population is always something that is done to fix something that is happening. So that is something that has been done by the government. They have educated the stakeholders and the public relating to the benefits of reserving the fish. They would have had fishermen's corporation, they would have met with these fisher folks, and they would have done some educational campaigns where they would have explained to them why it is necessary for the fisheries resource to be maintained. They would also educate them about the different areas that are protected areas, different species that they should not catch in different areas, and so on. So that brings us to another one, which is about, it's not called fishing season, but I don't remember the correct name for it right now. You can tell me in the comments when I explain what I'm talking about, right? So it is where they set up different seasons or different periods for different species to be caught. For example, you know that we have a lobster season. So it is not that lobsters are poisonous in the rest of the year. It's just that the governments would have implemented this to ensure that the lobsters get some time to regenerate their population before we start eating them again, right? So that season is used to allow them time for the regeneration. So setting up seasons, as I said, it's not called fishing seasons. I don't remember what it is called right now, but you can let me know in the comments below. Another one would have been stipulating different things that are used by fishermen. So they can put in, we can call it laws and policies, implementation of laws and policies, implementation of laws and policies to determine how the resources are used. Alright, so I won't write out a full explanation, but for this one, you can talk about mesh size. So there are some countries that specifically say what mesh size can be used for the fish pots, because if you're using a very small size, it means that even the tiny fishes are going to get trapped inside the fish pot. If you are using larger sizes, it means that the smaller fishes, they have the potential to get out of the fish pot. They can also ensure that sustainable fishing practices are used. So they can specifically say that no dynamite fishing should take place, because dynamite fishing kills everything, everybody, anything at all that is in proximity of that blast would have died. So that's not a sustainable fishing practice. So they would want to specifically state, implement laws and policies to protect the environment. So they could specifically say that they're improving jail time for using dynamite fishing or something like that. So they can also provide warnings or penalties for persons who break these laws. Right? So these are some of the measures that could have been implemented or have been implemented by our governments in the Caribbean. You can always write the country. Once you know, it shows that you are knowledgeable about it, and that is a part of what CXC is looking for, a part of their mark scheme. When you look back at your paper that you would have gotten, when you get the results, it tells you a part of it is looking at your use of knowledge. So don't just know the things and don't write them on the paper. They're not gonna know. This is your opportunity to write the stuff that you know on the paper. Use as many examples as you can. As I said, just make sure you say them right. Draw your diagrams to show what you are talking about. Label your diagrams properly. Ensure that you have your little title. Ensure that you label the different areas so whoever is marking your paper, they can see exactly what you're talking about. The aim of writing the paper is to show what you know and to put yourself in a position to say, listen, me, candidate number whatever, I know what I'm talking about. That is how you get your grade 1. So with that said, guys, it would have taken us to the end of the paper, I think. Let us see. Yes. It would have taken us to the end of the paper. So subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you would like to see more papers like this. If you have a paper that you're struggling with and you need some assistance, you can let us know as well. We would be happy to assist you, even if it is not geography. All right, we'd be happy to assist you with that. So subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn your post notifications on, share this video with a friend, follow us on social media as well, where we are posting different CXC questions to assist you in preparation for your exam. Thank you for watching. It is always a pleasure to assist you.